I would like to welcome you all to our latest webinar, and I've just realized I'm touching my face, which I shouldn't be doing. I have to go and wash my hands now. But welcome to all. We have today a very interesting talk by Dr. Katya. I am not going to attempt to pronounce your surname because
please don't try.
It'll have everybody laughing. But Dr. Katya is a director of Lillian, whom I'm sure we all know and love their products. She's not going to be talking about the products. She will be talking to us about homeopathy in the home and the benefits thereof, and how we can all hopefully lead a healthier life, I think. So without further ado, if I may, over to you, Dr. K.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And good morning or good afternoon to everybody.
Sorry, Katya, can I just interrupt quickly and just ask, if people have questions, if you'll see at the bottom of your screen the Q&A button, if you click on that, please type your questions there, and Dr. K will answer those at the end of the talk. So thank you very much for that.
Which button do I need to press?
It's the one that says Q&A, but you only have to do that at the end, or I will ask.
Q&A, yeah.
Or I can ask the questions for you.
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay, over to you.
Thank you. Good afternoon or good morning. And first of all, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Dr. Kateryna Tsvyetkova, so I pronounce it easily. And I'm a medical doctor born in Kiev, Ukraine, and graduated from Kiev Medical University. And I also got a PhD degree in pediatrics. And I also the member of International League of Homeopathy, also Homeopathic Association of South Africa, and Homeopathic Association of Ukraine. I'm also one of the directors of Lillian International. That is a well-known company for homeopathic aromatherapy, and I'm sure you all know about it. I use homeopathy in my practice for at least 25 years, and I'm still learning and studying every day, as homeopathy needs a lot of work, a lot of clinical experience, intuition, of course a lot of time, and good memory and concentration. Homeopathy as a holistic science as a science belonged to Dr. Samuel Hahnemann. He was born in 1755, long time ago, and he was born in Meissen, Germany, and then graduated from Leipzig University there. And he was extremely talented as a medical doctor and also as a scientist. But it's not all what he could do. He was also he knew also 6 languages, including Ivrit, Latin, English, and he worked as a translator to German of medical books. The birthday of homeopathy as a science is considered from Dr. Hahnemann, a conducted experiment with cinchona bark on himself. The active ingredient of cinchona bark is quinine. That is until now used in tonic water to make it presentable and a little bit bitter. Cinchona bark has been used for centuries as a treatment for malaria. The reason for Dr. Samuel Hahnemann's experimental work was the statement of a very, very well-known Scottish doctor, Dr. Cullen, who was actually the author of the first medical encyclopedia, that cinchona bark is useful for the treatment of malaria because it can stimulate the secretion activity of the stomach. So Dr. Hahnemann, as a very good medical doctor, could not understand the connection between these symptoms of malaria and stomach secretion. And that was the reason to conduct the experiment with cinchona bark on himself. And to his surprise, being absolutely healthy, because he was only 35 years old, he developed, he took cinchona bark in a powder form twice a day, and suddenly he developed the symptoms of malaria. They were coldness, and then symptoms of fever, headache, tiredness. And this attack was not lasting long. It was lasting for approximately 2 hours, and then symptoms suddenly disappeared. When Dr. Hahnemann repeated the intake of cinchona bark, these symptoms appeared again. And carefully analyzed them, Dr. Hahnemann realized that the symptoms that he developed were the symptoms of malaria, however, without the disease. I want to mention that main principle of medicine that period of time and until now is the principle to treat from opposite. So what does it mean? You go to your GP or to ordinary medical doctor, and for example, you've got the allergies. So what the GP or medical doctor do, he or she will prescribe you antihistamine, because histamine is the major reason for the allergic reaction. So you take histamine and you stop the histamine production in your system. If you have, for example, high blood pressure due to the vascular constriction, so what your GP will do, your GP will prescribe you the vascular dilatation remedy to open blood vessels. If you have, for example, bacterial infection, so what your medical doctor will do, he will prescribe you antibiotics to kill the bacteria. Again, from opposite. When you have painkiller, just not in the stomach, but it can be in the muscles, in the joints, headache, what do you take? Painkiller. So this is the remedy to stop feeling of pain. So Dr. Hahnemann, in his experimental work, saw the possibility to use another principle in medicine. And this is a principle of similarity. So it means that similar can treat the similar. Or in Latin, similia similibus curantur. That means that if cinchona bark gives the absolutely healthy person the symptoms of malaria, maybe cinchona, in case of malaria patient, can treat it. So it is a genius mind. Another easy example is with onion. So for example, you are absolutely healthy and you chop the onion. So what kind of symptoms you will develop? You will develop burning sensation in your eyes, tears in your eyes. You will develop a watery secretion in your nose. You will develop these symptoms of running nose until you chop the onion. If you are very sensitive to onion, to evaporation of essentials, then even you will develop the burning sensation in your throat or even the headache. So which are the symptoms? The symptoms are of viral infection, acute viral infection. But what will happen to you if, for example, you are absolutely sick with viral infection? You chop the onion and you feel much, much better. So this is example that similar can treat the similar. Also, Dr. Hahnemann believed and proved that if large doses of the drug shows the symptoms of the disease, the small dose of the same drug can treat these symptoms. And it is the first principle of homeopathy. So the main law is similar can be cured by similar. And the first principle is that if the drug shows the symptoms of the disease, the smaller dosage of this drug can treat these symptoms. And that, I will repeat, is the first principle of homeopathy by Dr. Hahnemann. So, homeopathic remedies, as prescribed medicine, need to be taken in small dosages and prepared by dilution, also named potentizing and dynamization. What does it mean? I will tell you a little bit later. Another principle of homeopathy is to find the most similar remedy according to the clinical picture of your patient and to clinical picture of the disease of the patient. That includes not only physical, but also emotional and mental symptoms. Which remedies we are using in homeopathy? We use practically the whole periodic system of elements, including calcium, potassium, natrium or sodium, iron, lead, radium, nickel, gold, silver, and I will name and name and name, even uranium, that is extremely good for sugar diabetes type 1 and type 2. Another group of remedies are herbal remedies. I will mention some of them later. And the third group of remedies we're using in homeopathy is the animal origin remedies, including bee that makes honey, including different kind of spiders, snake poison, and so on. Another group of remedies are very interesting, very modern, is weightless remedies. So we use the remedies that come from magnetic field. We use current, we use soul, sun energy, we use X-ray. That is extremely a popular remedy to control osteoporosis. We also use organ remedies, also very modern, because it comes from extract of thyroid, of liver, of kidney, and it can support the activity of these organs in a very, very efficient way. Also, we use nosos. These are the remedies from excretions, and we use them according to some kind of repeatable symptoms. Like, for example, I will have once and then again tonsillitis with staphylococcal infection in my throat. So I can use staphylococcal remedy in homeopathic form potency to treat it. All these remedies that we can use, we use in a small or even non-molecular dosages, non-existing dosages. There is 3 scales or levels of homeopathic remedies in a preparation, and the lowest scale that we need to potentize and to do dynamization is a D or X scale. So what does it mean, D or X scale? D from Latin discento means 10. X is a number from Roman figures. So it means that if I take some amount of a powder of the remedy and I will dilute it in 10, D or X, 10 milliliters of distilled water, and then I have to potentize the remedy. To potentize the remedy, I have to shake it 10 times or 15 times for the exchange of energy in between molecules. And that will be first D potency. The next one is the second D potency. How do I make it? I take 1 milliliter from the previous one, put into another 9 milliliters, 10 altogether, milliliters of distilled water, and I have to potentize this remedy and to make the activity stronger. So I have to do the dynamization. I shake 10 times and that remedy will be potentized. And then all others I'm making from previous. So the first, the second, the third, the fourth, and so we gradually dilute the remedies. We have another scale, It is a middle scale that we call C or CH scale. And that means that we dilute and prepare remedy in the same way, but we dilute it in 100 milliliters of distilled water. And every second one will be 1 milliliter from previous plus 99 milliliters of distilled water. So it will be first C, second C, third C, and so on. And the high scale, that is very popular in Britain, that is extremely popular in India, and we call it alam or cube potency. What does it mean? We dilute the remedy in 50,000 milliliters of distilled water. And every second one will be 49,000 milliliters of distilled water and 1 milliliter from the previous potency. Every time we have to potentize the remedy means that it needs to be shaked for 10 times or 15 times. And Natura, as my favorite pharmacy, homeopathic pharmacy in Pretoria, is having a machine that does it. So it is much better than potentizing by hand. We can treat with homeopathic remedies any acute and any chronic symptoms. But of course, you can have a pharmacy at home, but you can also have another way to go. You need to have a homeopath where you can go and have a consultation. Nevertheless, today we are going to speak about what kind of a homeopathic pharmacy you need to have at home, especially when you have kids, or you have to start treatment straight away. You have no time to wait. So, homeopathic pharmacy at home. First of all, I want to speak what is necessary to have. Of course, it is very necessary to have some kind of remedies for acute viral infection. And winter is coming. So the first one that I'm going to talk about is Quillia saponaria. I will show you how to spell it. So no PowerPoint. I will show it like that. Can you see it? Quillia saponaria. This is how you spell the name of this remedy. And this is Chilean soap bark tree. It is a beautiful tree that grows with the altitude and grows nicely with the altitude. It also needs a lot of water, a lot of moisture. And in homeopathic potency, it can treat the symptoms of acute upper respiratory catarrh with a burning sensation in the throat. It is the most efficient remedy when the pain is absolutely awful in our throat. So it is a burning sensation, severe burning sensation, dryness and irritation in our throat, and also irritational dry cough. So the next one I'm going to talk about, it is Allium cepa. Allium cepa, this is Allium. I was talking about Allium cepa before, and what I'm going to say that Allium cepa is a beautiful remedy for ordinary viral infection, especially adenoviral infection, and how to see that it's adenovirus. It will be a lot of irritation in the eyes, a lot of tears from the eyes, a lot of irritation in the nose, a lot of irritation in the throat, with burning sensation and a lot of whitish, watery discharge. Another one is Hepatica. Hepatica is one of the very, very important remedy to have at home. It is the plant, it's a liverwort plant or stone producing plant. And the symptoms that can be treated with Hepatica are the symptoms of catarrh with the hoarseness and tickling irritation in our throat and raw feeling in the throat, and also if you prescribe hepatica on an early stage of respiratory infection, it induces free and easy expectoration. Another one is a very interesting one, and I want you to see this name. It is Lauretirosis, or as they call it in Britain, Prunus lauretirosus. Why? It's not prunus, it's not a cherry tree, but the little fruits from this tree are similar to a cherry. That's why in Latin the name is Prunus lauretirosus. So it is a very, very dangerous tree. Why? Because the leaves and the little cherries, black cherries of these trees, are very toxic. They have hydrocyanic acid and amygdalin in. And the clinical picture that you can treat with these lauretirosus or Prunus lauretirosus is the symptoms of erratic breathing, dry, very intensive cough, tachycardia, it's a very high pulse rate, hyperventilation, when you cannot breathe, when you feel like a fish out of water, low oxygen supply to your tissues from erythrocytes, and also the symptoms of lung edema. Which other symptoms are similar from lauretirosus? It is a COVID-19. So it is one of the potential remedies that can treat the early symptoms of COVID-19. Another issue, another area where you have to have some remedies to operate to stop these symptoms, it is especially when you have kids, is the remedies that you can use for the high fever, high temperature, body temperature. The first one is belladonna. I want to show how you have to spell it, belladonna. Beautiful homeopathic remedy, extremely popular, and it can treat fever with twitching and a lot of pains in the muscles as you develop with influenza, and also with the hot, flushed face, glaring eyes, and restless sleep. So you can recognize these symptoms when you have influenza flu. You can actually develop easily such symptoms. So belladonna, in this case, when you have this clinical picture, will break your temperature down. Another remedy I want to mention is ferrum phosphoricum. It is also a very, very well-known remedy because ferrum phosphoricum can bring down the temperature, especially in a constitutional type with a predisposition to pneumonia. When you have a lot of problems with a very asthenic constitution, you cannot put on weight, and also when you are anemic. But if you are developing, even being anemic, you are developing the symptoms of flu, what will happen? You will have a flushed face, and very quickly, after 1 or 2 days of respiratory infection, it will be some complications from it. It can be otitis, it can be bronchitis, it can be pneumonia, or any other kind of respiratory infection. Another remedy I can mention, it is aconite. This is aconite or monkshoot. It is also very popular and very effective remedy for the high fever, high temperature. It has also flushed face, but only when you're lying down in your bed. But on a rising up, when you sit down or when you walk, your face is becoming so pale. You feel so dizzy. And another very, very typical symptom for aconite, it's a burning sensation in the throat and plus very high temperature. So when you are walking, you're very pale. When you're lying, your face, your body is hot and flushed. And another remedy for the fever, very common remedy. I'm sure you all heard about it. This is chamomile. So what does it mean, chamomile? It's chamomilla in homeopathic, in Latin. It is a very, very strong fever medication, homeopathic medication, especially in case of teething babies or kids. And one of the symptoms of chamomile is when you have flushed face, but one cheek is red, another is pale. This is a typical clinical picture of chamomile, and you can easily recognize it. Another big group of symptoms that I want to mention, it is a diarrhea. So it is better to have something at home that you can use straight away when you develop diarrhea. And I will mention few remedies that can be used for these symptoms of diarrhea. So the first one is Ricinus communis. It is a Latin name for castor oil. So this remedy can treat diarrhea, burning sensation in the stomach, attack of vomiting and nausea, chronic pain in the abdomen area, and also from the frequent stools, it has the picture of a very badly inflamed anus area. And also the stools are very bloody, very thin, and sometimes even watery. So these are the symptoms of acute inflammation in our intestine. And the first remedy you have to think about is Ricinus communis. Another remedy is chamomile. Chamomilla is, sorry, I've lost it. Chamomilla is another remedy that you can use for colics and for the diarrhea, but it's usually in case of teething kids. And also this diarrhea comes with a high temperature, high fever, and you know the difference. One cheek is red, one is pale. Another remedy I want to mention is Tsvyetkova. Tsvyetkova is a beautiful remedy from virgin nut, and it has nausea and vomiting. And the difference between Ricinus communis and Tsvyetkova is that every time when you have a clinical picture of Tsvyetkova, you eat, you drink, and you vomit straight away. You feel nausea straight away. So also you develop a lot of cramps in your abdomen area, and stools are also profuse, watery, very much like rice water, and you develop a feverish feeling, but with a coldness all over. This is Tsvyetkova. And another one that is my favorite. It is Baptisia. I need to show you the name. It is Baptisia. And this Baptisia is a wild indica or yellow indica plant. It's my favorite because I use it in my practice all the time. It has symptoms of diarrhea, of vomiting, of nausea feeling, but also with a very high temperature, with a lot of muscular pain, with a very sore throat, and a lot of symptoms of headache. Now you can recognize the clinical picture of rotaviral infection. And when summer comes, it's a lot of patients with a rotaviral infection, and no antibiotics will work for this kind of symptoms. Okay, and another group of remedies I want to talk about, these are the remedies for sinus, because South Africa, especially Pretoria, especially Johannesburg, are the planet of sinus. So a lot of people are developing forced nasal drip, stuffy nose, blocked nose. What can you use for these kind of symptoms? The first one is Kalium bichromicum. Kalium bichromicum, it is a remedy from periodic system. So it has a very stuffy nose with yellow to green discharge, sometimes brown discharge. But this remedy got a very sticky discharge, and it's very difficult to get rid of it. So it usually goes together with otitis, tonsillitis, and sometimes bronchitis. And it can also increase the expectoration of the mucus from the lungs and from the nose. Another one is beautiful, also a remedy. It is hydrastis. It is a golden seal, and this remedy, differently from Kalium bichromicum, got green yellow discharge and so sticky that it actually looks like butter. It also has a lot of pain in the throat, and this discharge can be not only from the nose. The pathogenesis of hydrastis is that when you are sick, you can have discharge from anywhere. It can be your nose, it can be your ears, it can be your throat, it can be your lungs, it can be your intestine, it can be your urinary bladder and vagina. So this is the remedy for the inflamed, badly inflamed mucous membranes. So, and also it's a little bit of a peppery taste of the discharge. I've spoken at length about homeopathy and about what you can use with the symptoms, viral infection, sinus, diarrhea, but I also want to mention that these homeopathic remedies you can get from the local pharmacy. Otherwise, you have to find a homeopath and you have to go for the prescription from the homeopath, and they usually links to Pharma Natura or Natura that I'm linked to, beautiful pharmaceutical company. I'm very pleased and I'm very grateful for their beautiful and efficient work. So I finished for today. So if you want to ask me questions, I will link myself to your questions and I will try to answer. COVID.
Awesome.
Okay. Yes, the question is, I missed that. Please confirm what you recommend, what you recommended symptoms for COVID-19. It is it more than one just treatment? Yes, of course. It can be, it's a very, very complicated symptoms of that virus. And every time, like the first week when this virus appeared, when it was an epidemic situation in China, there were a lot of sort of a symptoms of a burning sensation in the throat. So they were looking more like the symptoms of severe influenza A that goes to the lungs. Then a little bit later, new symptoms appeared, and actually these symptoms are not as symptoms of pneumonia. These are symptoms of edema in the lungs. And nowadays, COVID-19 is actually considered as a disease that has not only the edema of lung symptoms, it is also a blockage of oxygen penetration to the tissue because of the damage of hemoglobin inside of erythrocytes. So it's very difficult to find the remedy, right remedy to COVID-19. And as I made a research, I found few of them that are very simple, very similar to all these symptoms. The most similarity comes from Prunus lauratirosis. The best thing is to use it in 6CH potency. It's a middle potency because it is the acute symptoms. Also, Antimonium arsenicosum is the remedy that can be used for lung edema. And of course, now when it's a difficult situation with COVID-19 and when the symptoms are coming so quickly, it is better to use 2 or even 3 remedies, but you take them separately from each another, and it's better to use it in a form of dilution, extra dilution. So what does it mean? For example, I get Laurus rosus or Prunus Laurus rosus from my homeopath. So what I do, I take it in CCH potency, but I want to make it stronger. I want to potentize it to a stronger remedy. So what can I do? Very easily, I take 20 pills, I put it in 1 glass of boiling water. Why boiling water? It will not destroy homeopathic remedy. It will make the movement of molecules much stronger. And it will, when it will be the comfortable temperature of the water of dilution, you sip it through the day. The dosage is not so important. It is important, but it's not so important. The importance when you have acute symptoms coming from the frequency, how often do you take this medication? And I would suggest with COVID-19, and I already have experience of treatment, of treating the patients with COVID-19, you take it like every 20-25 minutes. Sip and sip and sip, and you take it for 5-6 days, and every day you need to do a new dilution. Thank you very much. I've got another question, I think. Oh no, it's the same. Yeah, it is the same. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you for that, Katya. Do we have any other questions from anybody? No, it doesn't look like it. Your explanations are very comprehensive, I have to say. One question that I had was, where do people get supplies of, the remedies?
It can be discount, it can be clicks. You can just go to the local pharmacy and find them. But if you will not find the remedy I mentioned, then unfortunately you have to go to homeopath and to get it from them. So that is the answer. So some common remedy like onion, like belladonna, like ferrum phosphoricum, like aconite, you can get from any kind of a pharmacy, local pharmacy near you. It is discount, it is clicks, it's Herden or whatever.
Awesome. Okay. Well, thank you very much for that. And we're going to see you again tomorrow at the same time, midday, where we're going to learn about breathing techniques, which are going to help us get through the lockdown.
COVID-19. Okay.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Kasia, and see you tomorrow.
Thank you for your attention, and see you tomorrow. Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
How I stop, how I go out. Yeah. I think I stopped the video. Oh, they stopped it.